Great. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Minnie Foley-Love, and I'm part of the congregation. And we're so excited. So our congregation is the Faith+Works Interim Universalist congregation. And we are a 135-year-old congregation. We're knitted to our beloved hometown. So Faith+Works is for ourselves of Faith+Works is after that famous slide. Bible, faith without works is dead. And the work that we try to do is opening our building to the community. So people use our space for all different kinds of things, which is why some people came by that were gospel rangers. And so, like, they might come here for a birthday party, from church, meetings, all kinds of things for them. And we think that people crossing paths and having a sense that there's someplace they can go energizes the whole city. That's especially in a time right now. And you know, we all know that coordination is profoundly global. And we believe that our problems are less about things to do, they're about the fact that we are talking. So by making trying to and Quaniya, we are just so grateful. HUUB, just the organization. But you can't do faith without works is dead. Without faith. So it's very important to understand what your moral values are. Sort of Unitarian. We started in the 60s. And Unitarian Universalists. Struggles. Today. Need this faith. I was with these meetings. About asking someone how to talk about how. So we have to be reminded that we're doing this because we have nothing better. Somebody is doing this because it was a to face the problem and know what to do. So that's why we're here. We're thrilled to have you. And this is Dallas.
Mindy?
I think burning bright, how you share with us. They would always learn to share all people.
Yeah, we'd like to sometimes share opening words that resonated with us. Today, and I came across this poem, and it's really short. It's simple, almost like a breath, but I thought it just portrayed this level of friendship and the way you are with your friends. That's very beautiful. And it is by June Jordan, and it is called Offer a Summertime Tonka. Redwood Grove and Ward. You and me talking Tonka. And God, it's also huge. You say, these sweet trees, this tree.
It's really an honor to be introducing Quaniya. Karen, can you hear us? Maybe she can.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I can hear you now, but it was cutting out. Did you check the microphone?
Okay, is the microphone working now?
It seems to be. I'll let you know if it's not.
Sort of express how we know this all came together.
It's cutting out, Frank. It has to be on the USB microphone. Just go to where audio is and click on the little arrow up and make sure it says select the microphone USB. Does that work?
Select USB.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again. Thank you for bearing with us on
Much-
this. Much better? Okay. So Quaniya writes in the promotional piece that appeared on our Faith+Works website, as a dedicated social worker, second grade teacher, and board member with the HUUB, she strives to empower individuals and families, fostering resilience and promoting access to essential services. Quaniya is also passionate about mentoring other first-generation college students and sharing her experiences and insights to inspire the next generation of change makers. I can tell you, she is much more than that. After receiving a master's degree in social work from Rutgers University in May of 2020, with an emphasis in nonprofit management and policy, Quaniya became Director of Constituent Services for the 11th Legislative District of New Jersey, supporting Assemblyman Eric Houtingling and Assemblywoman Joanne Downey of Ocean County. I was introduced to Quaniya by my good friend, Reverend Bill Rutherford, pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Orange. She was a key member of Bill's campaign to run for town council in West Orange, and again in his campaign for mayor. Every time I saw her after that, she was doing some kind of organizing or coordinating, the kind of behind the scenes stuff that makes anything she gets involved in a success. Since joining the HUUB board in 2021, Quaniya has found various ways to pursue her passion for social justice. Currently, she supervises our social work student intern from Rutgers University and is an active member of our collective capital campaign committee to improve our campus facilities. Quaniya moderated the city's official mayoral debate held here, sponsored by the HUUB and the University of Orange, with over 200 people in attendance and many more online. Along with the supervisor of our trail mix program, Quaniya organized and participated in an outing with her elementary students. Finally, for the most notable social event of the year, Quaniya pulled off the logistics of Molly and Doug's wedding held here on September 14th. She was the wedding planner. It is my pleasure to welcome our friend and colleague, the very dynamic Quaniya Jenkins.
Not supposed to cry before it starts, Greg. Thank you, guys. Well, first, I want to say thank all of you for being here in person and those of you who are joining online. Thank you, Mindy, Frank, and Molly for your beautiful words. And so, yeah, we're going to get started into today's Faith+Works session, which is entitled The Only Way Out is Through. That's my little next slide. Do you think? All right, so. All right, so I figured before we dive into what the only way out is through, I give you a little bit about me. I am a second grade teacher at the Uncommon Schools North Star Academy. I've been there for about 4 years. I am a board member of the beautiful HUUB. I'm a thinker / brainstormer. Like, I love to get to solutions and help other people get to solutions. It's kind of like, oh, you should do this with that because this will go together like this, which is why planning and helping coordinating Molly and Doug's wedding was such a great fit. I am also a girl's girl. I love like hanging out with my friends. I love pouring into them and then pouring into me. And deep down inside, I'm a lover girl to the best boyfriend in the entire world. Happy to be here. So like these are like some things that I do throughout like my day-to-day work, as well as being a member of Ebenezer Baptist Church located here in Orange, New Jersey. So today, I kind of wanted to kick it off being interactive. So first, let's pause. I say that in second grade. Pause, rewind. Today's presentation is going to be about being interactive with each other. So we may have to get a little bit closer if you don't mind. It requires us to be a little bit vulnerable and just to get to know ourselves a little bit. So I just want to remind us that we're in a safe space. And do whatever you're comfortable with, but also be comfortable enough to take a risk. So with that being said, with the image presented on the screen, you will turn and talk with a partner. So if you don't have a partner, get one soon. About what resonates in this image to you. So we're going to talk about what resonates when you look at this image. Ready? Turn and talk.
Is it a nice book? It's a glass. There seems to be a glass. There seems to be whatever book. And what's that water in the bottom?
It's on the ocean. The ice is floating. Bubbles are top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have about 30 more seconds.
So something is pouring into.
Or it could be space itself in and.
I'm not getting a strong sense of a meaning. So it looks like it seems to be different
Take
forms,
about 10 more seconds.
different forms of liquid in different states. So maybe that's saying something about each of us.
All right, and we can bring it back in 3, bring it back in 2, and bring it back in 1. That's part of what I do in the classroom. Other times you can hear me say clap once, clap twice, dab once, dab twice, you know, just kind of feeling the energy in the room. So as I was coming around, I noticed you guys had some very different outtakes on, come on in.
Come in.
I think they scored. Okay, you guys had similar outtakes on what this image means to you, so I wanted 3 brave people to take a risk and share out. Or I can cold call. All right, I'll do Cherie, I'll do Keith, and then let's go Lily.
I looked at it as pouring into.
Okay, pouring into
We also said that, but we also talked about like how genuine.
abundance.
And also, that stuff was too much.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are exactly right. I was thinking about like what direction I wanted this to go into and like what house of faith I wanted to live in, because we know that there are many places where faith lives. And so when I thought about Faith+Works and how I get through my day to day, I thought about faith within self and how sometimes it's hard to pour into others or to receive abundance if you're not pouring into yourself. And so I thought about like hydration, overflow, self-care, and putting self first. So yeah, we can go next slide. And I'll describe a little bit about what fills me up. So like the moon and the water brings me such a beautiful reset anytime I need. I have conversations with self, friends, and God in front of the moon. Like one of my favorite things to do is like talk out loud to God. I'm just like, this is happening, and you know, what do you think about this? Or maybe I should have did this because I remember when you said, and so like just having like the courage to like speak out loud, which wasn't something that was always there, right? Like I had to develop courage within myself to develop like my beliefs and develop like what is grounded within myself. And so like I use like the moon and the water, like going to the beach, going to like lakes, being in the water, like it recharges me. Art and museums bring me joy and inspiration. Like I love to feel inspired, like I love to recharge or like regain battery within self before I like go back out into the real world, because it's kind of like, that was cool, and so maybe I can do this in my community or do this with my students or like share this with my friends. Coloring brings me so much joy and it hugs like my inner child so tightly. Just last night, I went out with my friend Kyla. We were like at the pizzeria, indulging in like pizza and a few of our other favorite things. And I just brought out like a bunch of coloring pencils and a coloring book. And I'm just like intensely coloring, so much so there were like some without lead. And she was like, that's okay. Let's just focus on the things that we have. And so like that right there, like it recharged me for the week. And so like, I'm ready to like go into the week and share joy and share love because I was able to proactively refill my cup. Which leads me to hanging out with friends, routine dates with friends. Although no one warned us how hard it would be to schedule these dates with friends as like life grows and things go on. And so it's like, don't feel guilty if you have to pull a calendar out and it's like today and you're like, girl, February sounds good. Like, you know, it's like at least you put something on the calendar. Come on in. It's like at least you put something on the calendar. And so thinking about that, I thought about the notion of like my friends serving as soulmates and how like there are other forms of relationships that also fill you up besides like your personal relationships. I'm sorry, not personal relationships, but like, you know, like your lover relationships. Like there are like friendships that fill you up. The things that you do, like your passions is something, another relationship that fills you up. Your relationship with yourself helps to fill you up, and your relationship with your faith, wherever that may be, also is something that can be fulfilling. Date nights with my favorite guy in the whole wide world is also like a favorite thing. He's legit like one of my best friends. Rollerblading is something I'm not very good at, but I love it anyway. It gives me the courage to take a risk, which is also something that helps fill me up, like not being afraid to take a step forward, not being afraid to not know what's coming next. Like that is also something that I think is like blended within your faith, like believing that whatever is to come is supposed to come. I remember praying to God regularly to ask him to make me happy and to heal me from anything that doesn't serve me. Since that consistent prayer, which also took time, I had to be brave enough to say a prayer. Like a lot of times I felt like, why would God want to communicate with me? Like, you know, like I abandoned this relationship. And so like, why is it now that he would want to show up for me? But like, those were like, just like fear trying to take over and trying to keep me like stagnant and where I was. And so it's like, just pushing yourself to take a risk and just knowing that he is forgiving and he sees what you're going through, or whoever it is that your faith may be, wherever it is, wherever it is founded, like just give yourself grace, and just, you know, keep pushing. So since the consistent prayer, happiness has been showing up consistently, like in my job and my relationships and with myself. I also asked him for help on filling my cup. And he's brought back so many things that have brought me joy as a child. So like, that's been like super fun, which brought me to the core idea that we never stop nurturing the little versions of ourselves. And so with that, what are the things that bring you joy or fill your cup? And I turn and talk with a different partner this time. Turn and talk about what brings you joy.
What brings you? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Very good game. So that I really enjoy. And if anything, it brings you people to be able to do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. I am thankful for everything that I have got. I have. And we I enjoy bringing people together, connecting again with my family. I have an extended one aunt left. I really enjoy, that brings me joy to be able to do that as being.
You can take about 1 more minute.
The patriarch of my family. Yeah, how about you? What else?
Bring joy is our kids.
Yes.
Bring joy is I'm saying it's like be joy
Yeah.
and be happy.
Good.
So it's scary, but I am.
Yeah.
That's for me and actually for everybody else. So right now I'm gonna place up building.
It has not required
We can take about 30 more seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you? Yeah.
Okay, we can bring it back in 10, 9, bring it back in 8,
I appreciate that.
7,
Thank you.
6, 5.
I'm serious.
Okay. All right.
2 and 1. Beautiful. This time I'm going to ask for 5 brave people to share out some things that bring them joy. I think I see a hand over there in the corner. So we're gonna go Janaya. I need 4 more, or I'm gonna cold call. I'll go Frank. I'll go Nicole, Mendy, and Jess.
Want me to start it off?
Start it off.
I figured. Now, I'm gonna say God and purpose, You know, as a kid, I was very suicidal. And I don't think nobody could tell because I was always happy. But I think get to God and have a purpose for my life.
That's great.
We could go just next. Thank you.
Yeah, me and I were partners, when she said urges, I feel like that's a big thing for everyone to feel like we have your partner. So grounded and we talked about, having a family that supports you, with whatever you do in life, and even with family members or friends, they may not treat you the way they're going to treat you, what happens if you get into that, and it's hard.
Ooh, everybody say grace. Okay, next person. Go ahead, Frank, you go ahead.
So I'm the oldest of all of my cousins that are left, and we have a pretty big family, and it brings me joy to bring them together. I'm in a position now where I can bring them together and we celebrate periodically, not as often as I would like, but on both sides of my mom's side and my dad's side of the family. It's wonderful. And the other thing that brings me joy, I mean, my relationship with Karen.
Yay,
I
we love Karen. Yes.
is right up top, and I had a very good game of pickleball the other day.
Back in action.
After all of this Achilles heel stuff. So, and I don't want to speak for her, and she can speak for herself, but I had a very nice conversation with my partner here, Cherie, and I'm so happy for her that she's doing things to make herself happy and get herself. And
She does a lot of pouring too.
Yeah,
Miss Cherie
so-
there.
that was a nice conversation we had, filled with love.
Right. Miss Nicole.
So I find this question to be a little challenging because I feel like I'm still part of my community. Something that I do say is like my son. He really brings me joy. I think there's a part of it where it's an innocent piece, right? Where like as he's trying to figure out the world and he's exploring, I feel like that also helps me to figure out who I am a little bit more. So
Yeah, we love that. And take it one step at a time.
yeah.
All right. Mandy? Me.
No way, Mindy.
So I'm saying that.
Creating space. Yeah, I love that. Thank you guys for sharing. All right. Yeah, I was wondering if there's a way I could dig into the chat.
You can, yeah, you can.
Okay. Let's see.
You can pull up the.
We're running a little behind. Okay. All right. Nothing in the chat yet, but feel free to drop on in, guys.
Sadie.
Sadie's there. Hi, Sadie. She saved my life on wedding day. Darcy's there. Hi, Darcy. Karen, myself, and the hub.
All right.
All right. Gang's all here. All right. Yes, but I think pretty much it's really only like Sadie and Darcy. Everyone else is sure. Maybe someone else can.
I think it's okay. They'll be okay. They can chat in the chat. Thank you.
All right. So we can go next slide. I wanted to talk about an experience I had with a therapist, which is another way faith is allowed to show up in my work. Shout out to Jerry. He would always remind me proactive self-care versus reactive self-care. And so like proactive means that you're like actively pursuing what you're gonna do to fill your cup. It's a prevention from stress as opposed to a recovery from stress. It's before stress occurs rather than after the episode happens and you're trying to like treat the wound. And proactive self-care is more so like a routine basis, whereas reactive self-care is unpredictable because like you're responding to something. You're not really, you can't really predict when things are gonna come up. It's like, this one was like really big because I was someone who lived heavily and sometimes still do in the reactive self-care. I'm like, I gotta give, and then I'll recharge. And then it's kind of like, no, because then how are you giving when you don't even have anything for yourself?
Right.
So, just really locking in with myself and trying to figure out the things that make me happy. So like remembering to bring like my coloring page. I literally have it in my bag right now. Remembering to write in my journal when I have times. I'm not actively like committed to that, but I do try to like write because I feel like writing is a form of like release. Making sure to speak with God more, which is something that like Keith like definitely pushed me to do. It's kind of like before you wake up, he told me, he's like, you don't wake up, you jump up. And then it's kind of just like, what's to do first, and then second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then, oh, I should probably think about what I'm gonna eat for lunch. And then you know that thing that I had on the calendar for like next week? And it's kind of like, whoa, take a deep breath, chat with God, chat with the universe, chat with self. Check in with yourself, ask yourself questions. How are you feeling? Breathe, take a sip of water. So like those are things that I like pride myself in doing a lot more now. It's kind of like before I pick up my phone, I'm checking in with myself because I'm not even conscious of the energy that I have within myself right now. So it's like, let me make sure that that is where I want it to be or where I project it to be before I interact with someone else, right? Like, cause like I would hate for someone to say like, good morning, and like I haven't had any time to check in with myself, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Good morning to you too, right? Like it's like not being conscious of like self, right? Like we all have those mornings in the car, beep beep, get out the way, you know, I gotta drop my, you know, we all have those mornings. So like just remembering to like check in and take a deep breath and do the things that bring our endorphins up higher. So I promise this is the last thing I'm gonna make you guys do, okay? What is your commitment to practicing proactive self-care and how will you hold yourself accountable? We can take this to the, we'll go silent solo is what we say in the classroom. And that means that you'll think about this to yourself, self-reflect, and then I'll take 3 people to share. So we'll do that for about 35 seconds. Yes. What is your commitment to practicing proactive self-care and how will you hold yourself accountable? And I'll give us 45 seconds. I clocked it. Of course, 45 seconds. Commitment to proactive self-care. Feel free to write your commitment in the note card. I'll throw in an extra 2 seconds. Let's show some silence. Karen, you're being voluntold to write down how will you take care of proactive self-care. You're being voluntold. We'll be coming to you in 30 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds. How many more seconds do we need? Okay, we can bring it back. And I'll take 3 people who haven't shared yet. We can go Molly, Kyla, and Sue was voluntold, and Karen, we didn't forget about you. All right, Molly, you want to start us off?
Yeah, okay, so one, I actually have this amazing coach I've been working with. Shout out to Gianna, and something that she's helping with. I think it's like there's so much going on in the world right now, and then there's also so many ways that that our institutions can just like mistreat us, and that sometimes for me, I'll have a reaction to want to be just more numb to it, or just like, well, that's how it is, and like, I don't expect more from this, and like, of course, they're gonna like stop funding this program that's like helping out the women of color, like, and so, so what I've been working on is to try to be more honest about my feelings, because I can shy away from them, because I don't want them to like take over, like how mad I could be,
Mhm.
Same.
and like how
Yes,
much
yes.
grief and heartbreak I could feel, but actually to access those feelings, because I think that actually helps me be a better person and connect with other people and connect with my students. So actually like getting in touch with like that like deep place is a part of my self-care, so that I'm not just like pushing it away.
Yeah, thank you. And I also feel like you were doing that just now in this space by like making sure to interact with everyone, like looking around. We call that showing caring with our eyes in second grade. After that. We can go Kai.
I am the type of person who tends to take on a lot, one, not by choice, sometimes, two, by choice. But I would say in the midst of still learning, we have this self-care. I would say now I take on tasks and responsibilities and engagements. So, like I would get an idea of what to do and break it down smaller than it actually is, and I'm looking at it as significant, that it's less overwhelming. I usually like have this mindset of, oh, I want to do this, that I realized that slowly wins, so in increments.
I love that. And
Nice.
this is definitely a
Yeah.
good tool. Okay. Karen, I lost another person though. There was another person.
Yeah, Darcy was here. She signed up. I like to take some time out of each day just to be by myself and just doing whatever I want, but just quiet time. And I find that that just recharges me for whatever else. Sometimes I don't get it, but I'd like to have it.
You can have Frank be your accountability partner to make sure you get that quiet.
Well,
time.
sometimes that's the reason I don't have it.
Ah! You call it reinforcements. We'll be there, Karen, okay?
We won't fall into you.
Yes. Love recharge time though.
Yes.
All right, Sue, want to close this out?
Yeah, I give myself a hard time for not having a regimen of exercise, like, okay, I need to walk every day, I need to do it. But I'm pretty physically active, and I do, so I might be chasing my grandkids, or I might be, loading boxes in my garage, and I don't give myself enough credit for it. It's okay, you can be physically active and not be exercising in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Of course.
But being here and listening to you, someone that should look as myself and look, oh, she got it together, she don't need to be doing this. It makes me feel good to know that everyone's not perfect. And that even though I look at you as somebody that is like, okay, I won't be like her, my sketches won't be like this.
Thank you.
And to hear you talk to say, I'm not.
No.
It's good for our soul as well,
Yeah.
because it shows us that,
Yeah.
everyone is in their own world. Try, so thank you.
Thank you too. And so I like what Mindy shared earlier, like just creating the space to share with each other, like creating community, whatever that looks like for you, and then showing up in that community. So yeah, thank you. All right, we're almost done, guys, okay? Home stretch. All right.
I feel like a second grade.
Oh, yeah? I hope that means you're having fun. You know, earlier, I'm telling on you, Frank. Earlier, I said, I asked Frank, I was like, yeah, I need like pens and markers. He's like, what, how many? I'm like, enough for people to like write down. We're getting a little interactive. He's like, oh, we're getting interactive. I said, are you not excited? And he's like, No. And I was like, well, get excited, Frank. So are you excited now?
I
Frank?
am.
Yeah.
I've made a complete turnaround.
Yeah. Before we leave, I kind of wanted us to ground ourselves in our commitment to taking care of ourselves. And I also still wanted to live in the realm of grace, like what Sue was offering. Like, it's okay, like, to not constantly have a routine or to even follow your routine. Like, if you fall off, dust yourself off and try again, okay? Just pick yourself back up. So before we feel depleted though, like these are just some things, even if you feel like you don't have any tools in your toolbox, like these are some of the things that like I indulge in. Like taking a bath, like if you can, and like just turning the lights off, lighting a few candles, creating like an atmosphere for yourself to release, or to feel. Taking a walk. A little cold now, but you know, bundle up a little bit. There's still a little bit of vitamin D out there, I guess. Soak up as much as you can, get some fresh air. Phone a friend, like that's like one of my favorite. I'm just like, girl, 911, SOS. The kids are yelling, it's mayhem. They're throwing the papers everywhere. I need help. And then it's like, Jasmine, Kyla, anybody, literally anyone in here, like they're my friends. You guys say hi, friends. Mama, you didn't say hi.
I did.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Literally phoning a friend. Frank, you said hi, right? Okay, great. Phoning a friend and like literally just telling them like, I am not okay. And having like the safe space to tell them like, I need some help. But also something that I also really admire that I try to live in with my friends is asking them first, like, do you have the space for me to dump right now? Because you never know, they may be going through things that may be so heavy on their plate, whatever you're telling them, though, like you're coming from a great place, it may be that one thing that may break them. And so like just checking in to make sure that they have space enough to receive is also like pretty important, especially with everything going on right now. Like, if you have to ignore a text message, ignore it. If you have to take a few days to reply, do it. Like as a formal people pleaser who is still moving out of people pleasing, literally take time for yourself. And if it happens to make you a villain, like, so be it. You take care of you first, like you have to, especially with everything that's going on presently. So don't feel guilty about putting yourself first. So yeah. Community is something that also makes me feel loved, like hanging out with like my friends, like hanging out in spaces that are welcoming and safe. Listening to music, creating playlists is another way that I like fill up self. So like if you ever want me to like make a playlist for you, just let me know. I got you. And yeah, we can go next slide. Thank you. This is our call to action, but before that, I wanted to read a quote that I found. Commitment in a relationship doesn't guarantee a certain outcome, but it does make more certain your investment in the process and fosters a level of security and continued investment.
Yeah.
Written by Jordan Blake Michaels. And so, yeah, when I thought about this quote, I thought about relationship with self. A lot of people often think about relationships with other people. But I really, really, really wanted us to hone in on self, to hone in on. I'll do that again. So I do that in the classroom. I didn't give you a clear what to do, but I'll say something like to hone in on self, and then I'll drop my hands and you'll say it too. Watch this. To hone in on self, to hone in on self. Right. It's an investment, right? Like some of us may be in the negative with investing in ourselves, and that's okay too. Still about like providing yourself grace and giving yourself the will to move on and telling yourself that it's okay. I find that a lot of time your commitment with self has to start with forgiveness for self, right? So it's like making sure that you check in with yourself and say like, hey, I forgive you for not showing up in the way that I wanted to show up. Or like, I forgive for abandoning this part of myself, right? Like going back to your inner child and hugging them, like just really like perfecting your relationship with yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, talk to other people, figure out how they develop relationships with themselves, right? Like sometimes I was just talking to a niece of mine, like she was expressing how she wanted to journal, but she didn't know what to say. And I was like, listen, there's so many times where I write in my journal only one word because that's all I have at the moment. Whatever that word may be, like I may not even have the time to unpack, but like my commitment is release. And so in that moment, I write whatever it is that I'm feeling, whatever it is that I'm thinking. I walk away from it. I may add to it. I may never go back to it. So just also remembering that journeys and investments, they aren't linear. Like there's gonna be times where you're gonna be up the ladder and invested in yourself. And there may be times where you're coming back down on the ladder, but like just remembering not to beat yourself up. And just remembering to like re-honor what you want for yourself, what you believe for yourself, and what you love for yourself. And so with that, do we have any questions? We can go next slide. Yeah.
So this is really good.
Yeah. Success?
Success.
Okay, perfect.
Success. And so I'm just wondering, has this been a new revelation for you? Where were you at before, and how did you get to the point where you are so beautifully articulate about how you feel and what you're doing to, to make things better?
Thank you. So, that's a loaded question.
It is.
Maybe keep some tissues on stash. But no, like I've always felt like growing up, I was this person who was filled with like so much love. Like it was kind of like, and so it's like bursting through the scenes with like love, because I came from like such a loving household, like with my mom, like she was a single mom, but like I never felt like I was lacking emotionally, as far as like feeling loved. So like I always wanted to go into spaces to make other people feel loved. Like I'm looking over there because like these are some of my friends who I've been friends with for plus 5 years, plus 12 years. And so like I've always wanted to create a feeling where everyone felt like they belong. Now I do feel like growing up, going away to college, creating relationships with people who weren't necessarily supposed to be around, or like fulfilling my cup, like kind of like just taking from me, deducting, putting me in the negative, but not really like making any deposits. That is something that like tore down a lot of the love that was like instilled in me. And so like I hit like a really dark place like during COVID, where I was dealing with like a lot of grief. I was dealing with a lot of like imposter syndrome. Interesting, like ironically, like I was doing the accelerated 1-year master's program at Rutgers, like where like I had to do maybe like, what is it? Maybe like 40 hours a week in an internship, plus class, plus working on my own, like, because I still had like a car that I had to take care of. Like, so I'm like overexerting myself and doing all of this work, clearly showing up, and clearly I'm deserving, but I felt like it was all fake. I had the privilege of serving as the commencement speaker for Rutgers. And I feel like this is the first time I'm saying it out loud. Like, I didn't really have a feeling towards it. Like, I was numb. Which I felt like took away a little bit from the accomplishment. Like, I took it away from myself, right? Because it was just like, whatever. Like, they just made me the commencement speaker because, like, yeah, like, they felt that it was the nice thing to do. Just like really like negative self-talk. Like I was like really, really low. Like I had like a negative outlook on like so many things. I felt like so alone. I felt like I didn't have like the space or the strength to like be open or vulnerable, which in turn like made me angry. And so for a little while, like I was like really angry because I didn't know how to deal with feeling hurt, right? Like a lot of people think that like anger is like the first emotion that comes up. It's really a secondary emotion. Like there's something underlying that happens first before you feel angry. Like you may be embarrassed, like you may be hurt, you may be sad, and then it's like decompressing or like not releasing those emotions is which leads to like anger. So yeah, like I was like really in a dark place. I was depressed. I lost like 35 pounds. I like wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't have like an appetite. I was like with friends, but again, like this common theme of feeling numb. It was like I was there, but I wasn't really there. And it's like also like kind of like saving face. I think Janai was talking about that. Like I didn't really want anybody to know how hurt I really felt inside because I felt like it was a burden. I felt like, why would they want to deal with that if they already have like these many things going on? Or like, why would they want to deal with that when you're the person that they come to when they're feeling this? So it's like, why do you think that you can go to them when they like look up to you? And so I think some of the things that helped me pull out of that was faith, like going back to church, like praying again, apologizing to God and apologizing to myself, because I really felt like he didn't want anything to do with me because like I abandoned him for so long. But like that just wasn't true. And like I'm thankful that that wasn't true because now I'm able to feel like strong. Like this is like the first time also that I'm like, not really first, but like talking about like being vulnerable and not crying. Like there's a strength in being vulnerable and I feel like I'm walking more in that. And I encourage like other people to find that for themselves, whatever that may look like. Try it again, try a different way, go another way. And just like really believe that you can pull yourself out.
Great.
So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, I wanted to say thank you guys.
Ah.
Coming up, being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Not happening without you guys.
So let's have a round of
Thank
applause
you.
for Quaniya and how she brought us all together today.
Yeah.
She just filled the space beautifully and you guys helped. So
Yeah.
it was a really nice experience.
Thank you guys. Love all of you. Yes. A group photo, the photographer says. I know, I was crying too. Sorry, hold on. All right. Thank you guys. Hold the space, yeah. Come get in the photo. Thank you. Oh, yeah, keep. Oh, yeah, where should we go, over here?
Keep this one section, keep me in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sadie said hi. Right? Should we tell everyone? Okay, we could end it, right?
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we're gonna end the meeting. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Keith,
Yeah.
should we use the stage?
We can.
Thank you.
Would that help?
Thanks, Karen.